The American premiere of Punch is on Broadway this fall season. The play from James Graham is about one fatal blow and the lives that are forever changed. It stars Will Harrison, Victoria Clark, and more.
It's a story about, masculinity and how you respond to losing somebody. And because it's a story that has such hope at its heart, which is very unusual for a story set around death, violence, prison, the justice system. People come out of this with a different way of handling their grief and their trauma. And I find that so inspiring. I find the real life people so inspiring. They did something so superhuman in terms of being able to forgive someone who killed their son. I think it's a lesson for all of us, and we can't wait to be sharing it with American audiences.
It's already been such an amazing experience, and the conversations that we're having in the room, having just worked through the script once or twice now, are some that I've never had in my life. And that's really inspiring, because I think that is what audiences are going to leave with, hopefully, is conversations that they've never had and questions that they haven't really considered, which I think is what it's all about. And this show really offers that in a cool way.
In rehearsal yesterday, when we were going through photos of what the nightlife was like and leading up to this event, I see so many of the girls and the friends kind of dotted around in the photos, and I'm like, I wonder what this was like for so many of them, especially on the night of the Punch. And so, yeah, I'm trying to find my way into their shoes, but this is, it's integral to any way that hopefully this play helps inspire change. And I think that those conversations about how masculinity and the patriarchy affects all of us, I hope that this play invites so much more of that. And it's also been eye-opening for me to see how other people and how men and think about this and what leads to a violent event like this.
I'm just excited to share a different perspective on masculinity, male violence, and the restorative justice system. What it is to forgive. I think that's the genius of the play, is that it's never telling you what to think. It's never it's not didactic in that way or dictatorial in that way. It really is asking the audience all the time.
It's wonderful when social justice meets art, when people can actually write about something that's important, and change how people change and pivot and forgive themselves and forgive others is something that is a lesson we all need to be learning right now.
Your life can change in a second, not just through violence, but through randomness, through anything. And we all need to just breathe and maybe try and approach ourselves, each other, with a little more grace, a little more openness, a little more acceptance and joy.
What this story represents is how somebody, our main character Jacob, was in a world of gang culture that meant it was all about performative strength and being violent and being tough. And what he learned was an emotional toolkit, the real life Jacob calls it, whereby you can learn to react to stress, anxiety, pressures in a different way. And that can be, yes, on a night out when you've been drinking and someone approaches you. It can be in your workplace, it can be in your relationships, it can be in your family. I personally have reassessed some of my own behaviors around my relationships based on what I've learned about being conscious of approaching your stress and your anger and your pain in a different way that is way more healthy. And if we can do it even in just a small way, show an example, a real life example of how one young man changed his entire emotional approach so that he has healthy relationships, he's loved, he has the capacity to love, and he's been forgiven for what he did. I find that incredibly moving, and in this day and age, I hope that's a really valuable story to tell.